Most of the videos in our library cover a wide range of official documents and forms that genealogists use to construct their family history. We also prepared videos covering third-party sources of help, such as newspapers, yearbooks, and social media. This video will focus on unpublished research sources, namely personal writings. Although we acknowledge that you have to be lucky to find these items, here are 6 forms of unpublished personal writings that could significantly advance your family research. Number 1. A long time ago, primitive mankind had to make do without emails, without texting, and without social media. So how did they communicate between distant friends and family? People wrote letters. When's the last time you sat down and wrote a letter to someone? Handwritten letters were especially common between family members who lived far away from each other or in different countries when the cost of long-distance phone calls might have been prohibitive. The beauty of handwritten letters is that you can recreate the hard facts needed in your family tree while also getting a sense of the people being written about through the eyes of the letter writer. This creates an opportunity to add a human perspective to your family history that cold forms cannot provide. Letters were written conversationally, so you could read that someone got married, or someone had a baby, or someone moved to another city for work. In my own case, by reading letters between my grandmother in Brooklyn and her family living under German occupation in Poland in 1940, I was able to much better understand what their life was like before their town was liquidated. The letters I found also allowed me to put together a family tree that included names of individuals that were lost during the Holocaust and whose names appeared nowhere else. Number 2. Postcards. Consider them shorter letters. And it might have been more common for people to save picture postcards than letters received from family members and friends. Did your relatives like to travel? What kinds of vacations did they take? Did your family visit relatives that lived in faraway places? Picture postcards might provide some of those answers. Number 3. Diaries and journals. If you're lucky enough to find a diary written by someone in your family, you can discover amazing information about what was going on in the life of that person and their family as told by that person. Diaries can include personal details, facts, and stories that can humanize your family history beyond the names, dates, and places in a family tree. You might get a better understanding of the interaction between different relatives and the relationships that developed over time. Number 4. Scrapbooks. Scrapbooks can combine hard facts helpful to your research along with the creativity of the scrapbooker. Maybe they clipped and pasted local newspaper stories about family members or their participation in local civic or school events. Maybe their scrapbook contained photos through the years, hopefully labeled with family member names, dates, and places. You might find material from the person's school days, such as report cards, playbills, and school plays, or school club material. A baby's first book could be considered a type of scrapbook that could include all the important passage events, first steps, first words, maybe even snippings from a first haircut. Number 5. Family reunion material. If your family has held family reunions, does any of that material still exist? Were there lists of attendees and where they traveled from? Were there cousins club meetings and did someone actually take notes? Did anyone write a family newsletter that got circulated around the family? And another possibility that also crosses over with written correspondence is the year-end family letter that some families sent to friends and families, summing up what they experienced for the last year. Number 6. And if you're really lucky, were any of your family members interviewed by other family members? Maybe somewhere in the past a cousin started genealogical research but never got too far. From personal experience, I had a cousin who interviewed her aging aunt. She was born in the old country and the entire discussion was recorded on tape. Her aunt discussed what it was like growing up in Europe, about the boat trip from Europe to America, and what it was like to live and grow up in the U.S. as an immigrant. The tape allowed me to create a transcript to analyze the information. But best of all, since the discussion was taped, I have her aunt telling her own story in her own voice. As I mentioned in the beginning, you undoubtedly have to get lucky to find some of this material. But at least we hope that you'll think about the possibility that these personal writings and unpublished sources may exist, and you'll have a greater appreciation for how they can richly enhance your family narrative. This has been another helpful video from the Jewish Genealogy Society of Long Island. Please visit our website at www.jgsli.org for more information on our monthly speakers, beginners workshop, and other projects and resources. And visit our Facebook page where you can take part in conversations with experienced researchers. Whether you're on Long Island or an out-of-towner, we'd love to hear from you. Good luck with your research,